In this video, we're going to take a look at how to take pre-existing audio clips from different interviews and knit them together to create an overall narrative. Audio editing and video editing can do a lot to create a story out of disparate elements. The key is to be faithful to the intentions of the interviewees and not manipulate them in an unethical way to make them seem like they're saying things that they really didn't say. And that's really on you as the editor. And if there's like a boss or something, you just have to be like decent human beings. That's the only way there is. So here I have this empty Pro Tools session, but over in the clip list, I have a bunch of clips, right? You can see a bunch of clips from Bree, Jimmy, Lauren, Tavian, and Tobias. These are all alumni of Fort Hays Audio Production. So I've already kind of pre-screened these and pre-separated them. I did these big long video interviews with them, and this is just the audio portion. I didn't include the video for this exercise just because we haven't gotten into video editing yet. So let's take a look at Fort Hays, the Fort Hays clips. That's what the FH.1s are. And I'm going to bring Breeze in, and then I'm going to bring Jimmy in, and I'll bring Lauren in, Tavian, and Tobias. So they each get their own track, and we can sort of put them here. And we don't need to use, right, everything. If we used all the clips one at a time, this would be over 3 minutes long. That's way too long. What we want to do is just capture a snippet here and there of what they said.
Fort Hays, I feel like coming here really positively impacted what I wanted to do with music, because one, I'm one of, outside of the people that were in this class, I'm one of the only people that are certified, like a certified audio and digital recording. Like, that is a flex to me. But it also just taught me a lot of skills that.
So I'm just going to isolate this little section. It also taught me a lot of skills. So we don't need to hear Fort Hays, Fort Hays, Fort Hays, Fort Hays. We don't need to hear that. And even though this is good stuff, and we're still going to keep it in the clip list, we don't need that right now. If we are working under time constraints, then 9 seconds from Bree is plenty. If it's just like a small segment, let's listen to what Jimmy has to say here.
We had a really annoying project of removing clicks from audio, and it was real granular, and you had to dig in deep to these little tracks and find all the clicks and pops, and it was like these little things that you don't think about. But now I do details like that every day on songs. I'm like, now I can hear those clicks and pops, and these little things that add up, these little lessons.
This is a good
throughout
section
the course. Doing the ADR projects where we had to replace the dialogue in, we pick a random movie and replace the dialogue with something funny. We do that often over here. We do ADR sessions or voiceover sessions, and it's preparing you for the real world. We had a really annoying
Okay, it's preparing you for the real world. I like that. The rest of the stuff is pretty good, but sorry, Jimmy, we're just going to take a snippet. All right. Notice I'm zooming in and out a lot. That's key. You got to use your zoom levels here. Okay, let's see what Lauren has to say.
So Fort Hays was extremely beneficial for me in my musical journey. I was involved in 2 classes.
Her voice sounds different. It's because of where I recorded her. I did not realize at the time how echoey it was. There's some mixing to be done there.
So Fort Hays was extremely beneficial for me in my musical journey. I was involved in 2 classes. One of them was for musical performance, where I learned a lot of music theory, which was pretty foreign to me before. So that really, really helped set me up for success as far as songwriting, coming up with interesting hooks and things like that.
Okay, she's still talking about music
and I
performance
also was
class.
Interning for the music production class, which
that
has changed my life in so many ways. I don't even think I can begin to explain how much that meant to me, but I learned Pro Tools and Ableton and a little bit of Logic there, and from that I've just been able to express myself.
So we don't teach Logic. She did learn Logic, but it was mostly on her own. I gave her tips because I can use Logic, but what we're going to do here is just cut that Logic part out. Let's see.
I learned Pro Tools and Ableton. and a little bit of Logic there. And from that, I have.
And then we're just going to cut that out. I can use shuffle mode to snap those together. And I think I'm going to cut the rest of this out. You got to get out of shuffle mode or it will snap that to the
And
left.
from that, I've just been able to express myself and record all these songs that I have had in my head for years, but before that, didn't really have the tools and knowledge to do.
Okay, she's long-winded here.
And from that, I've just been able to express myself.
We're going to cut right there. Boom. Just so we can move these together, I'm going to press Option Command G, and that puts these into a group. We'll cover that more later. It's kind of an advanced technique, but there you go. You're welcome. And let's listen to Tavian here.
By just watching random YouTube tutorials and things of that nature, it was like, I was kind of getting the knowledge that I needed. But being able to actually have a class and a program that sat me down and had a structure, being in that Career Center program and in that class taught me not just about the musical elements, but the overall elements of sound that then allowed me to continue to be creative and find different ways to.
He's good. He does.
By just watching random YouTube tutorials, but being able to actually have.
So, I hope you're enjoying this video. I know it's long. I'm sorry.
But being able to actually have a class and a program that sat me down and had a structure.
Okay.
Being in that Career Center program and in that class.
Basically saying the same thing.
Taught me not just about the musical elements, but the overall elements of sound that then allowed me to continue to be creative and find different ways to create a unique piece of work when it came to my own productions.
Okay, so.
But being able to actually have a class and a program that sat me down and had a structure taught me not just about the musical elements, but the overall elements of sound that then allowed me to continue to be creative.
Right there. Cut that. So there's a lot of good material. Like nothing that any of these people, nothing that these people are saying is bad. Okay. But we just need to be more succinct.
That audio production class helped a lot. I think it even down to surroundings, even that audio production class helped a lot. I think it even down to surroundings, even the people motivate me to better. I was around a lot of talented producers and artists and just students who just loved the music. Around a lot of.
Let's see this.
Motivate me to surroundings, even the people motivate me to better. Even down to that audio production class helped a lot. I think it
Maybe. I like that. Let's see.
Class helped a lot.
Right there. This is Tobias. He's pretty awesome. But he does this thing. I call it eliding. I don't call it that. It's what it is. He elides his sentences where he flows from one thought right into another. I do the same thing, and it's kind of makes it hard to edit.
I think it even down to
really good
surroundings, even the people motivate me to better. I was around a lot of talented producers and artists and just students who just loved the music just as much as I did. So it was fun as much as learning, even the lessons where it's just I didn't even think that it was going to be important to me later down in the years, and just just being a kid, just I just want to just want to clown, but then dang, it's always moments, man. There's always moments that just be dang, I'm glad I paid attention to this back in Career Center class. That always pops up periodically, because it's just even down, I'm in front of it all the time.
He's an artist for sure. Okay, let's put these together, and I'm just gonna dump these into the top track, and we're gonna see what we got. We could make a composite track, but we don't really need to for this. And I'm actually going to bring Breeze back in here because I want to get the first part.
For Hayes, I feel like Fort Hayes, I feel like coming here really positively impacted what I wanted to do with music because one impacted what I wanted to do with music.
That's the intro. So we're going to put that first because she does say Fort Hayes.
That
And we're going to solo this.
audio production class helped a lot.
Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to use shuffle mode to snap these together.
What I wanted to do with music.
That audio production.
We're going to smooth that out, so don't worry.
You know, it's preparing you for the real world.
I learned Pro Tools.
Okay, let's get out of shuffle here. Let's see. Let's do that. I'm just guessing here.
I learned to express myself.
But it also just taught me a lot of skills that helped set me apart. And
There we go. Look, we're now at 27 seconds. This is going to be great. So we'll go back to slip mode here. Let's work on these transitions. The transitions are the tricky part.
music.
That audio.
So we're just going to make it real quick. You know, and we'll fade that in a little bit. See, those are those tiny fades. We're talking about tiny fades.
Fort Hayes, I feel like coming here really positively impacted what I wanted to do with music.
That audio production class helped a lot.
We don't want those. You hear that?
Helped a lot.
We don't want to eliminate that with fades. And bump that right up there.
Production class helped a lot.
I learned Pro Tools and Ableton, and from that I've just been able to express myself.
But it also just taught me a lot of skills that helped set me apart in this industry because I'm not guessing. Like, I know what I'm doing.
You know, it's preparing you for the real world.
His voice is a little softer. We'll bump him up.
Like, I know what I'm doing.
You know, it's preparing you for the real world.
Okay, and then at the end here, we'll zoom in. We'll put that fade. Now, it's not, you know, it's pretty good. And it's almost exactly 30 seconds. But what we really need is some background music. So, you know, you could throw some background music there, have like a 1 or 1.5 second, you know, part of the music before the vocals come in, before the voiceovers come in. And then it'll be a second out, and that'll be up to exactly 30 seconds. But this is how you edit for content. You have to take good material and just chop it down until you get the great material, or at least the material that tells the story you're trying to tell. And I didn't make these people say anything they weren't saying. I chopped it up. I put it in a different order, a more logical order for the listener. But this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about narrative editing or editing to create a narrative. You have the story in mind, you have the raw material, and then you use that raw material to create that story, but you have to do it in an ethical way.